I'm gonna call to order the meeting for Wage and Personnel, Monday, August the 18th. It is 6:09 PM. I apologize for the delay. The meeting's being recorded by Zoom. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. Items may be taken out of order at the discretion of the chair. I'd like to welcome Derek, our new board member. Thank goodness you're here. We now have three. And I hope my note didn't scare you, but if you want to tell us a little about yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, I've lived in Kingston for about 4 years now. I've been on the finance committee for about 3 years. I'm on my second term now. So looking forward, and the finance committee has an appointee to this committee, so stepping up and putting more on my plate, living in town with my husband, a dog, and one newborn and another one on the way. So I think we're neighbors, by the way. I live on Indian Pond Road.
Okay, we're about
70.
Oh, you're around the corner.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's great. That's great. I did a full term in the finance.
It's a lot of fun, right?
I'm not on there. No, honestly, it's tough. And I can totally relate. So I applaud you for taking more effort to do this as well. This does not require that amount of time. But we do take it very seriously from the standpoint of what our charge is in terms of basically the oversight and protection of the wage and personnel people in the town that are not in the union. So with Tina's help and the administration's help, positions get created, positions get changed, positions get deleted. The financial conditions of the town. We don't come at it from a financial condition. Your insight would be very helpful for that. That's, to me, is great. I'm glad we're a full board. It's been a while, right, Ryan?
Very much.
Yeah.
We have one incident where we disagreed. And it ended up going to the board for selectmen, because that's the nature of the beast. What I'm digging here is, I don't know if you read or read about the charge, what our charge is. So have you read that?
I read that. I read
66. That's from 1966, the original charge.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was not alive.
Well, I was alive, but I didn't. Yeah, I was busy. So what I'd like to do at some point is make sure that you have this, because this is the article from the March meeting, and this is the actual bylaws. But I'll grab a copy of it before you do it. I mean, I was kind of like a stickler.
No,
For that, because once you go beyond the charge, nothing, as you know, nothing counts if you go beyond your charge. So.
And also, please keep in mind that we are an advisory board. So anything we do is a recommendation to the select board or a recommendation to the town meeting. And the town meeting goes on it, then the select board. This is not the path that the stop of last resort. We're not the judgment body. We are an opinion body. And however, we do tend to flesh out a lot of issues and problems so that by the time it gets to those boards, they don't have to deal with it. I remember we had one joint meeting with the select board, and I believe that one of the members gave us about 10 minutes and we took an hour. And afterwards, that member whose name I will not say sent me a note that said, I really do appreciate how much you guys dive into the weeds, because we got, and you should. So,
yeah.
And again, we work very closely with Tina and with the administration. I understand they have a new town administrator. Will it still be town administrator? No changes?
Most of the time he's been brought up.
Tell you, that's all.
Okay, because obviously the previous situation is probably the time.
Yeah, I watched the select boards, the selecting board. Moving on that, so.
This was Pennsylvania.
It's actually from Texas.
I see it.
But I don't like talking about Texas, so.
I can use.
Whereabouts in
Pennsylvania.
whereabouts in Korea?
So I went to high school right on the Delaware PA border in a town called Kennett Square, along with our news system, people know about it. And then I lived in Philadelphia with my husband before we moved up here.
So there were two Pennsylvania people where you guys can meet.
Well, I was 25 years outside that.
Okay, fine.
Harrisburg. We're about outside Harrisburg.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
Oh, I've got a cousin who lives in Kingston.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the last name?
Beaver. I'm not kidding. The last name is Beaver.
Okay. Don't know. No, that's,
I had to think we call him Beaver. I'm like, wait, is that his first name? No, his first name's Steven.
Stephen Beaver.
Stephen Beaver. His wife's name is Joe.
Oh.
And her mom's name is Bambi. It's a lot
I don't even
a
want
lot of nature happening.
Bambi.
Mhm. That's there in the Mechanicsburg.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Mechanicsburg area.
Yeah, we lived there for, I lived there 25 years, so we came back here, about in like 2010. For, family.
That's nice. Thank you for sharing. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. You do.
No problem. So next item, welcome again. Next item is, we should reorganize the board. Meaning that we should, either, make nominations for a chairman, for a vice chairman, and, only for the simple reason that, we've just gone through town meeting, we have a new member, and so I believe it's something we ought to do. So I'll open that up to the floor. Any, nominations or recommendations?
I submit myself as vice chair.
I would second that nomination. I knew that was coming.
I'll tell you why later. Oh, Lord. No, I have absolutely no problem with that.
Okay, any issues?
No, that's all.
Then I will, make a motion that we, approve, Lorraine as the vice chair for waging personnel for, okay, sir?
No, no.
Vice chair.
No, just. My chair is 27. Yeah, 27. And I submit.
Wait, could you have a second here?
Oh.
I second it.
Second.
And I,
You
and
made
I made the
she made the
motion.
motion, I
You
second,
made the second.
and then I asked for, no.
I can make a motion.
Okay.
I move that Lorraine be the appointed vice chair.
Okay.
And I'll second that motion, and then I'll ask any more discussion. Seeing none, I will, ask for a vote. Derek?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Jim? Yes.
You like.
Good. We need a chairman.
Okay.
I nominate Jim for the position
Ah,
of chairman.
sorry.
That's it's gonna be me.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay,
You've done a fine job so far.
thank you, I will accept this. And again, I do apologize, so,
You can be as low as you want. I still don't want it.
Seeing no discussion, I will ask for a vote. Derek?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes,
And Jenny?
thank you very much.
So the board's been moving.
Okay.
Next time I'll call you, you should always make some time.
No, I'm usually here a half hour early, I don't have my computer and nothing, so I literally had the stuff on the grill, you called, and I went, as I saw Lorraine, I went, oh, and Judy goes, my wife says, did you have a meeting tonight? I go, yeah. Yeah, she goes, it's not like you to forget, but I understand why.
We have all that stuff.
It's just crazy.
When there's a lot of stuff, there is, things to put to the side.
Well, I will then take the next item, which is our update from Tina Betty, our human resources.
So, it's been a little while since we met, but, we are currently recruiting for a, teaching and technology librarian. There's about a couple weeks ago, there's a such as the notice. And then the record review application. Also,
Is this the same person who took that position in the two of them? Didn't seem like it was all that long ago. If you don't remember, that's okay. I can look it up. Yeah.
which for the most part is what the programs.
Okay.
And we are recruiting for a business professional. And we put together and we're slowly getting up. But I think it's going to be really good. Not happening.
So on the building commissioner, they refresh our memory in terms of, what the current. I know we had a community development director,
Right, so we
and
have,
that person left, went back to Plymouth. Then we were getting a building inspector.
well, so we originally years ago had a building inspector. And so we also.
Yeah. Enforcement officer.
Enforcement officer.
Mhm.
And so then during that person's time here, the position of community development director was created. That person moved into that position, and that person resigned. Decided to go back to the building inspector and felt that they had changed since then, and so it's the building commission. They've got certain licenses and they want to do certain items, license. So that is what we hired at the last go around. The last go around, class got the commission, it doesn't plan to come, so we didn't know the position. So that's what we do.
And the idea obviously was with the lack of activity in the town, in terms of new building, new construction, and so forth. We didn't quite see the need to continue the community director. So it was building inspector, building commissioner, building commissioner. Is basically handling that, the building piece of that position. We still have wiring, electrical.
All falls, that all falls on the building and it does. The piece about the development part is it's not doing it together.
They all accept.
They all accept it.
Is who would oversee that company? Town administrator.
Yes.
And that's what the plan is still going forward?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Great, thank you.
That makes sense with the electric utility gas.
Yeah, and that's been part of the building. plan.
Yeah, that's been part of that too. I just wanted to, so basically the status quo is the same. All we're doing is replacing a position or replacing a person.
The person in position is reestablished, yep.
Yeah, that person, the person who was there moved on. So we don't have, it's a big.
It's vacant, right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a sealer of weights and measures. That person has both the town administrator now that they are resigning for fiscal year 27. And so we have been gathering job descriptions. It's in the bylaw, we just need to understand the keeping in the bylaw. Sometimes you have a shared one. There's certain counties, I don't think there's like a shared one, but that person can do it off page, it's not just based on county. So I haven't really given on that, but today I'm put together. If you're gonna, if you're gonna go, contact it out. If that was like, what does it look like if they're just gonna give the person in? Got some insight, there's some good division for a number of years in terms of how much time it really takes. Some of the feedback from the staff has been, the questions I've asked have been for, separate, separate, doing, you can follow this another job description, which kind of throw it all together. Not 100% sure, but maybe, the stipend is kind of high. It seems like comparatively, so maybe we'll ask for a reduction on that, I'm not sure.
It's like the time was.
There's no 97.
Okay. It's good.
So that's a work in progress, but it will be kind of done. So when you guys think about what If you're concerned, you can buy that, you can do it either. Is there something?
Does the, does it fall under the same idea that was the recommendation,
You want them.
contiguous town?
I don't know if that's continuous. I don't know if those are continuous. It didn't appear that way.
Is there a, weight and seal and weight, measurement? Person in the county?
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
I mean, there's certain positions, and there's honestly certain things that I believe that, you know, quite frankly, the county ought to step up.
Sure.
And, you know, there's no reason for us, I mean, I run into this all the time, there's no reason for towns to have their own, what, $750,000 pump truck. It gets used for 3 months a year, when I think the county should have it, it should be loaned out to the towns, or charged out to the town as the use. Otherwise, it sits in the biggest problem in the biggest lot, because it's behind the highway maintenance shed not being used.
You know, it's got to be done.
So the, you know, and this is another type of a thing that once you have inspection schedules and you don't have a lot of activity in the town, I would think that it would be a natural fit to explore it outside.
Those things tied together, activity to because they're the things like. The gases, all the, all of that.
It's a law, it's not, it's a law out of the state and federal, it's not a law particularly Kingston. Has a
Right,
rule, so
right.
it kind of makes sense in big thing, it's like if we could get something, when you come up.
Oh, yeah, that's one.
But I just don't, that's why I asked, the light of that. You know, within the veteran agent where you can use a contiguous town veteran agent according to the mass state law. Can you do the same thing with? No, but I'm just saying, have we looked at, it? That's all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's not necessarily, whether the county has one they can give, I don't know that part of it yet. But like I said, there are towns that are sharing them.
Yeah.
There are towns that they've shared them, and I think it's not what's out for us, it's our own. And so yeah, just kind of looking at, or getting the research done at this point, but there'll likely be something, unless we just keep it status quo and maybe adjust the state of it on, I don't know.
Yeah.
The position exists, it's not that it doesn't, it's
Yeah.
just how it's going. We have to include for it until the job description needs to be developed, if we have, so,
Other, licensing.
Yes.
oh.
I'm up on the website
Yeah,
right
you
now,
were
so
right.
there are, but frankly, if we can share it within a municipality, that would be great, because I know it's an obnoxious line item within the finance committee. Because we have to pay, there's various elements out of it, and sure, not an insubstantial stuff.
Okay. So, we can have, stuff like that. Okay, that's a possibility.
So, well,
It's a possibility.
we're being updated, the activity will
Yeah.
continue, you're going to explore, do we have acting prime minister?
No, Kingston,
Okay, I didn't know, I mean, I just saw what I saw in the news,
Yeah.
What's the departure date?
town meeting day, as of right now.
Town meeting, the fall town meeting.
As of right now. Yeah, they're just talking about whether his contract obligations to 90 days, but they're like, say, how are they working on that?
Are they looking for a temporary?
I don't really know in certain
Schedule? Okay, no, I'm asking just from the
Yeah,
standpoint of,
absolutely.
because this is a public meeting, and I'm sure the people will ask as well. So, and I'm not asking for anything private, I'm just,
yeah.
I mean, everything I'm talking
I
about.
just wish I had more information.
Yeah, no, that's fine, and I'm sure as you get it, you'll let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very kindness. Yeah. So, because you brought it up, so not because that's on the list, but I'll jump off the list. Kingston is looking to partner with Duxbury to share a bus agent. And all kinds of bus services, that was talked about while we both hired somebody and.
I thought we hired the bus agent.
We hired the bus agent, who, spectacular.
Now,
but-
Duxbury wants us to work with them.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not us wanting to work with
No,
Duxbury.
not that.
Okay, because I was gonna say, what happened to the vet agent?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, it's phenomenal, that's it.
Yeah.
So, work in progress there, and what that may or may not mean for legal personnel, other than. If an assistant, an admin assistant in my office, is part of that package, it's like, no, it's not. Then we will move forward, what we talked about before, about the need to continue to have personnel, which should be.
The admin
The
position.
admin position, yeah.
Because we don't have one, we just.
No, we have an admin.
There are admins.
We have an admin that integrated personnel.
Yes.
It really should not have been her, and so correct that action, it should be.
But the admin that's agent in our bylaw was there because the person who was doing it was not a veteran. And that person was working under a veteran's agent in a corresponding town at the time. And that's why those positions were created.
Well, with the admin assistant, when it was originally created, should have really been.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, that's all I'm
You know,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
all I'm saying
Yeah.
is it was put on our plate and it was put on our plate based on the fact that what we had to work with at the time, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been, right, it's been.
Yeah, but
So,
just from the standpoint of history. Yeah, and now it's gonna go the other way.
So. The boards that I can provide, I understand, are gonna go into the fall town meeting, big, for the hospital, vote. Making the town clerk an appointed position and not the elected position. So if that gets passed, then, that position has to be bylaw for, fiscal year 27. And so we have a job description that's already been graded because it was prior to council. I don't think it's maybe 18. I don't know how to tell me.
Yeah.
So now treasurer, tax collector, and town clerk,
So treasurer collecting together.
right, as an appointed position, and town clerk now.
Yeah,
And it would be voted on,
this fall.
The treasurer collector, when is that person? When does that transition over to
That
the?
transition, so it will be, right, so it'll be, fiscal year 27.
Right, because it was like.
You're kind of like, yeah. So.
in terms, because
So wait,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I think is as we get closer to election. And I think people, right? Or
April.
right?
Yeah.
That's when that's when the treasurer will officially be done as an elected position. Right now, the one person in the position is an appointed collector and elected treasurer. So once the election happens, once we begin the election, we will get more, would you want work to recruit? So that the person can start, so their July 1 for the new fiscal year, or, the last things. Depending on, but it's in the bylaw, the positions in the bylaw, it's great, ready to go. Once we have things in the text, and they don't.
Yeah, we're collector is, effective July 27.
fiscal 27.
Yeah, fiscal
Yeah.
27, that's like, in my head, I can July on.
I mean, technically, they may start.
26.
Yeah,
in
they
the
could,
bylaw,
right, in the bylaw,
That's
they could
the-
start.
That's really,
That's already done.
Yeah.
So that's the development, and the board of selectmen, considering changing from the 24th effective July 26th. Or July 2027.
The fiscal
it's
27.
supposed to be something.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think that they also.
Okay. So
So if they vote and call me, or if the town votes to say that we agree with that,
next up.
then we know as we get closer to the election.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Now. Is town clerk in the bylaw?
Town clerk is not allowed, so
So
that,
now we have to create a position.
no, position, so we have a job description.
That's,
It's part of the concept that was just created.
yeah,
You just don't, it doesn't live in bylaw.
right,
And so, yes, so back in 47, if it would live in the bylaw, and that person would actually start.
so that position though has to be presented at Springtown meeting depending on the vote. So that all the backup to the bylaw is done.
Right, so the way I read and see it, is that fall town meeting. The vote would be, do you want?
Do you, yes or no?
Change to-
Right.
Yes, we do, okay,
Good,
so then we know. July 27, when go town meeting for that fiscal year, you'll buy all the food and appointed clerk and bring all that stuff.
But the JAQ, the
Yeah.
job description,
Yeah.
the level it's going to live in,
All that's done,
it's done till,
I think it's part of the comp study.
it's done as far as the comp study goes, because we accepted the comp study. So it'll live in, I think it's grade 15, so.
No, it's.
That's 11, okay, grade 11, so it'll live in grade 11. But what I'm curious about is, we don't have any other paperwork behind it. From the standpoint of job description and JAQ that we've seen.
Mhm.
And all I'm trying to say is, before we get to Springtown meeting, and this is a warning for all these positions. I want all the paperwork on time, 100, how many days?
I'll figure out the. method.
It's like 180 days
November,
prior.
November.
You're supposed to have, you don't understand, we get a lot of it at the last minute. And a lot of it, it's not anybody's fault, it's where it all happens. And, this, perfect example is the director, the DPW director. Okay, all of this, that was nothing but a fiasco at the end, because we had a vote on it. And then it was voted down at town meeting, but they wanted it in the bylaw, so that in case it got passed at town meeting, it could happen. And,
Just so I'm clear, though,
mhm,
so I have no problems that here's the job description,
right,
here's the JT that's already created. Is it just providing it?
I don't even know, I've never seen it,
Right, because you would have, the new should have lived there.
right.
But,
But if it's gonna be considered to live in here, I think it needs to come before the board, just like any other position. Once the town decides whether they want it or not.
and so.
I think the DPW, yeah, and I do believe, honestly, I don't wanna ever let that happen again. I would have, hindsight being 2020, I would have waited. That's my opinion.
I asked.
Yeah, no, we had the discussion.
We,
Yeah.
multiple conversations, and then when it ended up in the end, we wouldn't vote for it because we weren't provided the proper information, so.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I just want to be clear on the clerk part of it, the clerk part of it. So, okay, so. I'm getting the information, and my question is, will there be a possibility of it be differently?
Based on the recommendation. You guys, the administration, you may make that recommendation to us. I'm opening that up. Okay, I'm not sitting here and saying it's gotta be this. Yeah, the job, don't forget, the spouse said it was 2017.
That was my question.
19.
No, I was hired for that, but
No.
this
That-
last, was like this last month, like 2 years. This is the.
No,
big
more,
comp study.
more.
No, the comp study that we just did, that had the entire town. it
More.
included this,
More than 2 years ago.
But
It's
not
in the-
17.
It's in the paperwork. It's in the paperwork. It'll be in there. It's more than, it's like COVID. 2021. I mean, I just remember it being
It's been since people been.
2022.
2022.
November 2022 is when we received it.
Right.
Right, that went in for, we went in. It went in at fiscal year 23. That's what we did.
This November will be 3 years.
Right. Well, for fiscal year. Fiscal year. I think that would. We're in fiscal year 26, right? Yes, so we implemented change this fiscal year. When the board is 25, consider 23. It happened in 23, but it was new implemented changes in 25.
And when it was spring 23.
We voted at the spring 23 meeting because we got the, no, that's not true.
This
That's-
is-
No, it's the opposite. It was
I was
voted in, it was voted in spring of 22, and then we got it after it was flushed through the select board.
So I'm thinking as it relates to the union contracts, and the union contracts that are in play right now, the union contracts that the study is effect one, and that was for fiscal year 26, 25, 24. So we have year 23, right, for fiscal year 20. Is that those, right? See, it was just the night.
Yeah.
But it was all, right, so try to work with that, so we work with them.
Yes.
Right, and then, we're negotiating.
The
And
final one was when?
November, I'm looking at November 1, 2022, because
That's the
that's
fine.
when you received it, the board of
So what I'm
selectmen
saying
met
is
with
this
us.
is the study that included the
Couple of years,
clerk,
yeah.
the treasurer, the collector. And so when I say it's been graded, that's the job description, the JAQ, that's all typed in now, not anything prior.
Isn't the or isn't the requirement outlined by statute though from the state, so wouldn't it not necessarily change
Why
that
not?
much?
When it would be, statutory, but there's also local requirements as well.
Well, I'm sure the state doesn't have anything in there about providing free voter services, right?
No. I-
It's just super convenient, use that today, so,
You do?
yeah.
So,
I
so
didn't
anyway,
say-
so,
Alright,
so
so-
again, we talk about this more as a book closer to when I'm whatever, but.
Depends
Or
on
whatever
who.
our meeting is,
Mhm.
but just again, when I give you guys what you want to get, in a kind of manner. The job description, the JAQ, which currently lands at grade 11, is what you need, but you guys are gonna look at it, like it might have been in this study.
No, we're gonna review it just to make sure
Okay.
that our recommendation to the board after it's been approved
So we
was
should put it in there, yeah.
approved.
Yeah.
That because the
You just
JAQ
have to look at it, right?
and the comp study is years old.
Yes,
So
years
the
old.
environment's changed. So all I'm saying is, I'm trying to help you from the standpoint of giving you the ability to reopen it again.
Yeah.
Only from the standpoint of, you know, if it gets voted that it's going to be in a political position, you want the best candidate you can get. Okay? You know, so, but I'm just saying that I don't want it to wait till the end. I don't want it to get close to deadline. If it's decided in October, I want to see the paperwork no later than, I think, than 30 days later with all the finals so that we can compare it and then give it to the board. And say, here's our recommendation.
As a part of my election.
Correct,
Yeah.
then we'd have to go in the spring.
Yeah.
Right,
Because they have to, they gotta review the job description anyway, it's state. So, if it's a job description from 2022, it's.
It can be.
And it can, be. So they, you know, they do need to review that, you need to review that. And if we're not making any changes,
No, I
then it
mean,
would be cursory exam unless there's something that will jump out of this.
and when the,
Thank you.
the TN. That is. The review of the job description board.
Yeah.
You have it, like, you know what I do with the dog, and I think it's things like that, but again, those people are part of the conflict as well,
Right.
and so. Hopefully it can't be the right thing, anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully there won't be a lot of minutes.
We can do it.
Okay, so, and then the thing that was submitted for, a possible change at Fall County was an IT. So, an IT, we I forget what we called it, but,
IT assistance type thing.
something like that, yeah.
why do we need that?
Because we have employees that are doing like two things that are not part of the protocol. And again, we have.
I thought we had an outside contract.
They're not here, they're not here, they took somebody questioning.
We got a telephone? Sorry, I don't do.
No, I get
Yeah,
it, but I
yeah.
mean, some of the stuff is stuff that, I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, we knew when we went to place the director, or a manager or whatever, it's like, we'll be out of the problem, that's great, we were one of the moving customers, right, and, we talked about it before, you get good positions, like, I'll go somewhere else, and people are gonna, that's not the way to do, or part of my job, so.
So how many people do you think are gonna be impacted by the change with the IT stipend?
What do you mean?
Not, you said that they're changing their responsibilities.
So they have,
Responsibility
they have
for the
to
IT.
take certain responsibilities.
So how many people do they anticipate?
Getting stipend.
Oh, no, there'll be one position.
Oh,
And then, right, there'll be one position, just like,
Okay.
as like any of the
One
one
position.
position, one position, and you apply for it, and you can go to Getsy Getsy.
okay.
Yeah.
Any,
It could be enough for that person too, I don't know, you know,
So we have an idea what the stipend amounts to be?
that's the piece, it's funny, but again, when I went through the search, we did some, researching. Okay, I'm here to also see what other towns doing, you know, a lot of towns either don't have IT at all, right, or they also downsize their IT, and so, I've seen the numbers come back as much as 13,000 and as little as 5,000 or 6,000. but I.
Okay.
That, I know, I get it, I'm like, okay, so.
Yeah, that, I just remember like when we had this, and I'm not gonna bring finance up here, but when we had this discussion about the decision to go. With the consultant, the whole idea was that he's gonna save us money, and it's not just.
Well, and that's, I think that's the thing every company or town has to go through, if you are trying. You're trying to get the same services with less bodies or, or facilities or whatever to do it, and so at some point you have to decide, like, what are we doing? Like, what can't we be doing, right? And, we have.
Or-
this conversation.
Yeah, or why does it have to be such a priority? That we have to have somebody on site, that the consultant can't be called. Okay, and I mean, if it's an emergency. I would assume that the consultant has in the contract that under emergency LTE and so much
Yeah,
time.
if it's an emergency, like something
Right.
happens to our system, yeah.
Right, so much
Well,
time,
consultant,
right,
Yeah.
other than that, why can't it wait till the consultant can get here?
I think it's something to do, I think it depends on, I honestly, I think the job description says something to you guys, but I think there's certain things where things like. There's my computer, you can track if you have both computers, password stuff, like, it's more of a, tech, not necessarily direct care level, you know what I mean, like.
It's basically on-site tech support versus. I mean, I can tell you from my last onboarding experience at a company, not having on-site tech support was just absolutely. But yeah, I'm with you on, I'm like, yeah.
I get it, I mean,
I can easily see both sides.
No,
like-
no, I can see both sides, but I can also see, okay, so they don't get the service fee. You wait. You get the service when the service is available. Okay, otherwise you're gonna pay for it. Otherwise, you're gonna create another position. I can tell you my initial reaction without understanding the whole thing is. Danger will obviously. I don't have any idea that I'm looking at with support, but it's only because I'm coming from a standpoint of, we're hitting a point here where. That we've added a lot of people in this town since I've been on this board. And, I just think it's time that, we can say, hey, guys. come on.
I get it, great, but it's.
And once we create these positions, they're hired.
Oh, I wish I was true when I was.
Yeah, I know.
I love wages and 4 years ago.
The point is that it's so much more difficult. We have to ask harder questions when we're creating.
I think that's all fair, and I understand the 2 points of it, I think that there's a lot that is been done in police, and whether it's regs that have nothing to do with the everyday residents, or if my customers are employees, or other employees, what have you, they're a lot. And again, our departments, other than the unit of 40 of them, are the department head, the community, whatever, and there are, there might not be building going on, but there's still stuff going on, you know what I mean? And again, the regs, the changes and things, it's a lot, it's a lot, and
I agree, I'm not
and again, so for my chair, when I think of my customers who are the employees of the town, balancing it with, budget and what with the residents and all that other stuff, they're gonna take at some point, the first questions have to start, how we say, what won't be servicing it?
Oh, no, I've been saying that for a year.
I know, but that's.
And just so it's on the record, I supported to, increases in your position, for instance, and stood up at town meeting and made sure that, because I do support you 100%. However, I also have seen these certain things. I don't like stipend positions, especially in something that's required as in the town, integral part. If somebody needs a password and I can see getting an outside person, that ain't gonna work. Yeah. But not in the situation you described.
Well, and you're not wrong, except I could see it working that way if we knew that there was a person that was like, you gotta be here in 10 minutes, you know what I mean? And sometimes I can have, I don't know, who is it?
Put it this way, if you've got the systems for the treasurer collector. But just.
Well, but then
You
we
have-
have.
that would be
someone-
that's a consultant,
Right.
but
That is an ultimate, to me, that's the ultimate body needs to be.
But that's the result.
Right.
I wouldn't be.
And that's in their contract, and
Yeah.
they've got a response.
Yeah.
yeah, but I can see a situation, unfortunately, where someone is locked out of their computer, it's a low priority issue with the consultant. However, you think about, okay, what's the amount of time that happens, you figure, okay, that probably happens to every employee at least once a year, all right, what are we looking at for their average salary, and then you start kind of doing the math, it's, all right, what is the productivity loss here? And I mean, my big thing is always like, you know, when you have a meeting, you have to realize that that meeting is taking productivity away from everyone, so what's the true cost of the meeting? And that's kind of how I deal with an IT outage. So to the extent that we need someone here, I mean, my preference would be to just hire an IT in-house IT again and just get rid of the consultant, because clearly that's not saving us any money. And if that was our
It would be
reason,
interesting to see costs for a consultant and a stipend position versus an IT position.
I mean, I can tell you that in 2 minutes, usually. I'll just pull up my finance notes.
That's true, it's, I don't want to end up in them, that we're getting into the weeds with money, and I don't like that, that's not my thing. But
Well,
I understand.
Again, our recommendation was not to go to an IT consultant, because we were in the racks.
Yeah.
Okay, that is an administration and a select board issue. So, you know, I don't want to get away from that. All I'm saying is that, in the natural scheme of things, whoever's responsible for the consultant should be this person. Should be, and
And I think
if,
that's the town administrator.
and if you're telling me it's the town administrator, then the town administrator should come up with a plan that these duties are some of the duties that are already working in the town. And change the duties to offset the balance, to rebalance the priorities, so that this one person is that expert. And, or expert enough that they know they can go to code yellow before they call a consultant. I believe that is the TA's responsibility.
And that, I get that, and that has been worked on. What ends up happening though is the position, of these things are falling on IT, anything is happening. You would create a position that has what their normal job is, and then I do. You know what I mean? It's not like, I'm gonna be the HR person and I'm gonna work for this one. You know what I mean?
No,
I made that joke, but
I do understand, it, but I do think this is a management issue within the town. I do not believe it is a creative position issue. And I think it's an allocation of resources issue. And at some point in those allocation of resources, if you have to wait, you gotta wait. Okay, because there's only so much that we can do, and I think, you know, making it a priority when I'm not so sure it's a priority when we could be just moving together.
yeah, I think when, you know, when a company goes through, you gotta figure out how to save money, I think one of the first thing most companies do is look for the attrition before anything.
Mm.
And, you know, when that came up, it was great, we just won't replace it, and then it was, okay, but again, somebody's got to do IT in some capacity, right? So was that the right position? No, I don't.
I don't think.
And, you know.
Oh, no, and by the way, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the plan is we want to know outside of consultant. Part of that plan should have been to deal with low-level issues in the town prior to going to the consultant as a job responsibility and a balancing job responsibility by the administration. That's how I do it.
I think.
And in some cases, we've said, you know what, that person's job's changed and I probably should pay them a little bit. And we've been receptive to that. But we're not even going there yet. We're going right to a stipend position. Or right to an outside position, or right to creating another position. And what I'm saying is, I'd rather see you go down the road of management in the administration first, and then come to us and tell us that this person's job's changed and they should be reclassified.
So when we look at that as a possibility, the number 130 classified.
numbers went there in what respect?
when we looked at the job of who's currently giving this on, and we never brought it to you all because it's like the number like that, we don't be great, given all this.
Mhm.
So you're like, okay, sorry, the work still happens, but
But in most cases, if people are at step fives in their position, okay, you're
not
talking,
that, you got to break.
no, step five in a grade.
Okay.
That to get to the next grade in those types of positions, 5 or 6 grand.
I'm talking with points, I'm talking about,
I understand that,
Right.
but in essence, to go to the next pay scale,
mm,
it's not that much.
for the job.
No, it's not that much of a cost for that job. If it was, if the person, let's just say for argument's sake, if the person's an admin and they're a grade 4.
Right.
All right, for them to get to grade 5 and they're in the middle of grade 4, that's not a big step.
No, I'm not talking about the money, we weren't saying the money was there. We're
What are you saying is not there? I just want to
The
kind of,
rate of the points, so the positions.
so it's not important.
It doesn't bring it to their another grade.
So it really is something that should be managed and not paid for.
Like, again, it's two different, you're wearing two completely different hats.
I'm not trying to wear the paid for hat. I'm trying to wear that. I don't want a position hat.
No.
Okay,
I know,
and I'm saying-
I'm not talking about money when it comes.
Yeah,
to
I'm not either.
classification,
Yeah,
Because you're right, like, a position can be graded by 10 points, it's really a $6,000 increase for somebody, right? And in some cases, it's 18,000, in some cases, it's 2,000, and all depends, right? And so when the reclassification piece started coming through, it was, and I've seen talked about this before, reclassifications are a, you have so much more work to do, it's the level of the work, right? And so now, if you have a position that is, you know, for the 15 grades, like grade 10, and you add more grade 10 work, the job isn't gonna go to 11. But now you've got that person doing a job or a job in a month, right? And so that's the piece of, okay, those additional things are missing. So you get back and IT manager, sure, you know what I mean, you're gonna pay more, but you're not gonna have a consultant perhaps, right? Or do you come up with a second position, so that becomes added on to whoever is capable of doing it as an official position, but in addition to what they expect to do to their side.
you know, I think we're both saying the same thing, and all I'm saying is that in my head, the direct plan would be manage it first. If you can't manage it, then turn around, and by managing, meaning create a position that may possibly get reclassified or possibly up for discussion in a current position. If that can't be done, then, and I don't believe I've heard any discussion about that, except for right now.
Right,
It
because
me,
And we
And-
knew not to bring it here, because we're like, you can't get there, why do we, because we couldn't get there at the time administrator, and the HR person, this position should be created, because the quality, the caliber of the work has changed because of these additional pieces. It's not, it's all the same level of knowing and experience and responsibility and all those other things, it's just 1925 things instead of 20. You know, I mean, even like when we talk about, treasure collector stuff, right? Treasure and collector are equal in caliber of what they're doing. Now you make it one position, the quantity is different, but that skill set isn't, right? And so that's why it's at the same rate that it was most treasure.
but that's also why assistants were created and additional admins were added for would be added for his office when the position was created for the ability.
You're trying to talk.
For the ability to. That's why payroll got moved out or moved back in. And you know what I'm saying? In other words, that's managing, that's changing the task for the amount of time or resource that you have. And I believe this is in that same category and that same idea. And all I'm saying is I want to see it, all those positions, all those situations we exhausted before we talk about it. At least that's my opinion. What the rest of the board wants to do is there, but that's my opinion.
And having heard that, which the reason to get to this position, or this potential second. The reclassification part was with that, it just didn't. So, I mean, maybe you can look at it again, but then you're looking at a totally different job, and
The question, the answer may be in there. All right, so, Jared has a job. And you're the IT person, the IT person is leaving, so for Derek's little, circle, he's gonna be taking up the IT stuff.
For
Okay,
sure, part of it, but
for a certain time. I'm trying to wrap my head around that explanation.
I mean, I think we can look at it.
If you have somebody in there adding additional responsibilities on a regular basis, then that should be considered in your wages.
I don't
Not
disagree,
stipend.
but it's, well,
How do you stipend out? To say, okay, you get $9,000 a year in a stipend, but you've only done IT work for an hour and a half.
right,
That's something, that's the manager.
but I think, right, so I think it would be. I see stipends as these are positions that, based on the amount of work and the caliber of the position, cannot be added on to somebody else's job. Or whatever, another reason to choose that, right? So if we're just looking at standalone IT in-house support type of things. And it's 10 tasks, that is the person of the week. So it's the reality. That's an app, that's not something to figure out.
That's a different.
But that's what this is.
So,
That's what
it's
this
the
is.
regular little stuff and then the regular big stuff. And they don't add up the same. They're hurting somebody by getting that, okay, Jennifer, now they want to have her on income as a admin. But she's only eligible for that stipend. Well, so it just seems to me that,
But
yeah, I know.
yeah, I'm trying to think of some.
I'm trying to figure it through, but it's just, I think it's a complicated issue. Consulting versus
Listen,
employee.
you can't take the stipend. Effective sector, right? So there are committees here and boards, elected, non-elected. Who's typically union, there's a union admin that is assigned to a department. And part of that responsibility is taking the minutes, posting and doing all that stuff, okay? But that's been baked into their true job description, okay? Like health admin also does the minutes, does the agendas, does the posting, all of those things, like baked in. So that level position, I think we're at a certain thing, based on all of those pieces, right? So now you take away a position, and you say, here's the pieces that you have to figure out on a day-to-day basis. So.
Just want to shoot this.
No, I mean, again, when I first took companies, where they're like, we gotta get a position, sometimes I work them the whole way, right?
Well,
And so, and this is what I always say, I'm like, listen, you can get away with, or you can do away with that full-time position. Be ready for people that are taking on those roles. They want or expect more money. Now, sometimes what happens in the industry is you take away the IT person and we dub a position to say, listen, that person's condition was costing us $100,000, but we're gonna give you a $7,000 bump, and here's the additional things you're gonna do. That didn't happen, or didn't happen, and sometimes doesn't happen in the real world either, but those types of things would still, those still need to be addressed, because there are companies that are still thinking with, procurement, right? So we had an ATA who also did procurement. All right, we need to whatever, the ATA positions going away, procurement, we're going to a procurement position. Money's too tight, don't do that, all right, fine, add that to the TA, we didn't get no money for that, maybe that was something else, right? And so I think when you start doing away with positions, the service doesn't get it. I think of like when I've done layoffs over the course of my career, that service is doing it. The fact that budget source is no longer, that money, that revenue is not coming in because we don't sell something. So new ones, the ones associated with take on, I'm sorry, that the work is not here anymore. And doesn't happen. There is work and people are taking it on. Typically, there's a mechanism to give that person more money, whether it's now your full new job is you know, admin and IT, and we're gonna come up with how that looks, but.
Then,
Not just like-
then wouldn't they want to have a reclass, because they can request a reclass?
Which has happened.
So let's say, this, if we, any is doing stuff and then all of a sudden, oh, and he's gone, so you're gonna take a lot of that onto A, so they have the right to pass that.
Absolutely.
So that they
If
understand.
proactively, yes, frustration, that, and it happens, like,
So they always have that option.
always, what I'm saying is, for those, we certainly classification, safety thoughts, and, have been requested. And we go through the, usually to, make the cells, we score, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't bring it up, because again, it's quantity at the same level versus. I was expected to file, now I'm expected to, invent the alphabet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if that isn't necessarily there, I'm. I don't know what to do. It's wrong, you know, and yeah.
So just and so if someone were to say, okay, they have their, for lack of a better term, day job, and then they come in and they start getting a stipend. So they're classed for 35 hours on their day job and say the amount of work with the stipend is 6 hours. Are we then expecting them to be putting in 41 hours a week, or
So
is
the
it?
way the stipend works, right, because we do have employees, that, right, so we have employees that are full-time employees that do an executive secretary job, and it's just the stipend job, right, like it's not tied to anything, right? And so we have made it clear to all of them, union, salaried, wherever you are working 35 hours a week, if not more. And whenever you get that other stuff, like you get that other stuff done, and so, if it's a matter of. It's like great job, because, I have a question, okay, so now okay, so in addition to being the HR director, I'm not gonna do this like he said, right? So if someone comes in and hey.
Problem solved, moving on, next time.
Right, and so at 10 o'clock, after I just, did an employee relations gab, someone comes to me and says, I'm done with computer. Okay, let me go downstairs and take care of that. My HR stuff still might be able to. So I'm gonna be here, right? Right, and so what we've said to the hourly employees are like, we're paying you for 35 hours to do your, whatever department you're assigned to. If you have this other stipend thing, you're doing that on your own time, sit at your desk, but you're doing it on your own time. So it is a matter, but that everyday work isn't going to left, because almost everybody has more than 35 hours left to be doing whatever they have to be doing. So when you have this other concern for it as you're expected to do this. You can't go back to what I'm going to be doing, because it's like a 1.5 person job, but.
The issue I also had was that if this is a person in the town that is currently working in town, they will go over, they will take time away from their current position to go handle a password emergency, to go handle a computer emergency. And they have to, because otherwise, they have to, because the service will go away if they don't. Okay, and then they have to do their regular work too. Well, the town closes, the office closes on a Friday. How's that person gonna do it? Okay, so that's another reason why I wanted management and not this stipend.
Yeah.
I would have rather you come and said, we're looking to hire another administrative assistant, and not tell me they were gonna be IT, okay, and.
Yeah, I would have done it to you.
I'm trying to make, what I'm trying to make is it's already in the bylaw living there.
Yeah.
You know, so, but no, I can see nothing but problems with if you took a person that is, let's just say you took somebody out of the clerk's office, just right, and it's an election. Okay, and we're running an election and they're busy as all get out, and all of a sudden, Joey over in the senior center can't get in their computer. She's gotta stop what she's doing, okay, which could be time sensitive from the standpoint of turning in ballots, turning in results, to run over to the senior center. Okay, no, I don't wanna see that, I don't agree with that, I think that's a management issue that can be handled with administration through the town administrator, that's just my position, my opinion. Okay, and that's one of the problems I see with it. Outside person, the time it takes the person to get here. and if it's a $7,000 stipend or $6,000 stipend, equate that into how the priorities that person has. You know, I'm a commission guy. I eat what I kill. I do not, if I don't sell, I don't eat. Okay, so I have priorities. People are more important that I answer to, and there are people that I only see maybe once every 2 months. Okay, and if that person once every 2 months calls me with something that requires me to go, I gotta wait. Okay, I'll try like heck to get it done through email, try like heck to get it done on a phone call. If I'm not gonna give away the other more important stuff to go do. It's the same thing here. And the clerk position is exactly the type of, and the same thing could be in planning, the same thing could happen in
Right,
draft.
and again,
The same thing could, I could see the problem.
if there's a person saying, but you don't, that you have the person saying.
I'm not saying that is.
So I think
Yeah.
it's your point, right? So if it's something all from the street, we would have to be. Treatment purposes and understanding purposes, like. I mean, again, you know, with the stipend positions, don't necessarily come into the office, right? They're expected to have their own setup, right? And so. Would it be a position where you say, yeah, your IT help? You gotta be on call because if something happens in the middle of the day, then how it's this to that person, I don't know. But, I mean, I do know. But, you know, no, I hear what you're saying.
I just think, I personally think it's a mistake, to that thought process. And I don't think that balancing the duties on the admin and the administration side, it bothers me that hasn't been discussed, but, you know, we did this, we tried this, we did this, and the reason the consultant's not working, and are there any penalties in the.
All of that may be discussed more as discussed review, because they're having. It's not a bunch of things, so. And there are some things that have been tried, and not just in this area, there are other areas that those positions don't exist anymore and will work to stay there.
But, and also, is there other needs in the towns where it may make sense to get a junior, you know, these IT things, maybe necessarily that bad, that we couldn't make it a 1/3, like when we did with the administrators, where they worked for the select board a piece of the time, they worked for the administrator for a piece of time.
My thing is, if we're gonna go down the route of, you know. Again, if you're gonna go down the route of what's assessed and what can be accomplished. And it's gonna end up being any benefit that would be the position, which is only 20 hours or even more. Just bring the full time to $2,000. That's what we need.
I mean, I know the police chief's gonna want more staff, and if you're part of roll that and go. Some, because I think there was an open records like assistance here too, so.
Yeah, they were redoing the system,
Yeah,
and there was a big amount of money we asked for in order to update.
For their IT.
yeah, provide administrative support for public record. I guess I was up there.
Yeah, for that, but and again, so with police,
Mhm.
they can actually. Police and fire, do you have stipend positions for any of the police and everything there? But I don't know exactly what the chief is asking for, really, the video system. I would think that's more of a. IT director or manager level thing, not.
Yeah.
Police, EMS,
All that stuff is.
all of that
Yeah.
is priority. Really,
Well, it's priority, but it's also very, right, and so.
Yeah, and
And
you don't wanna go into somebody's EMS files and job plan candidates, and you don't do that. So the question is, there are a couple of stipend positions. They say the fire department has a firefighter medic, who does AT sometimes, example with police. And the point about, well, we're gonna be having individual departmental IT people, then why do we have just one? Just one, because you're double downing on the money and the stipends. And they can walk away from their office, go to the fire department and say, okay, let me fix it. He's not putting anything to the back. He's not putting onto the back burner, because that is his job. So there's no.
Yeah,
penalty.
I mean,
I mean, it's not an answer, but it's just.
No, I absolutely hear what you're saying, and again, I'm not in it enough, but
Yeah.
having. I think over time, as we develop the IT management board. Because again, the IT management board didn't exist here, so like, this is a very different facility. And so when it built up, it eventually, I think the least fire, they became partners with them. And for a long time, it was, they do their stuff. Which I think is true, but I think it's been a valid reason. It wasn't a person thing, it wasn't a no touchment like playground, it wasn't any of that stuff. It was more of a, you know, oh, we've never had that before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like I was saying to somebody today, like, well, before the meeting, you know, for HR, individual departments, that's my thoughts.
No.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, oh, what's happening?
Honest not.
So.
You can't done that, they had the keys to the locked up
Oh, that's
So-
such a, okay.
Which means the truth.
Anyway, I'd say about that because, right, if there's a non-IT work there that we should bring back to full time, perfect. If there's IT work and then this department needs some other type of thing with other IT, and that department needs some other thing with other IT, come back and get a job, sure, go get it. Or at least put the best up. Okay.
Well,
I thank you for leaving the message.
well, again, I'm not,
It's coming.
yeah, I don't wanna beat the issue, I just feel that, I for one will be very, looking at this with a very wry eye as far as what I will look at, and the reason is, you know, with the development with computers and the, what's happening from the standpoint of AI and so forth, this should be getting easier. And if it's not getting easier, why? And,
I mean, I'm
and
not like.
I'm not either, all right, but the idea of, the reason I like a consultant is that leaves my end game a little open, what I wanna do. What I don't like about the IT manager is that's a position, we're gonna get married, it's gonna be, they're gonna be in the, it's a lot harder.
From a finance perspective, I can tell you that we are already over what we were spending on an IT year. So using the consultant. So I mean,
Even fully loaded.
I'm thinking like fully loaded, it might be comparable, but I can't, so. And it sounds like based upon the need for this position, we are not their priority for the consulting company, if we're having, if this is now a need. So I would prefer to have someone who knows our systems and knows our needs on site and dedicated.
Yeah, this would be a thousand.
That's.
So, yeah, no, and the reason is because we've been down that road.
Yeah.
And we've been down that road.
Yeah.
And the last model that you had that had it, didn't work, did not only not work, it failed miserably. And,
The last one.
the last model we had with an IT manager was not a very good model. There was nothing but complaints, nothing but problems. I mean, you can talk to the departments, and I've talked to them, okay? And I disagree, all right? I think that in this world, when you're talking about it, this will be the type of position that if you go out and try to hire, he's gonna come back and say, I need a level 10,
Yeah.
step 10, grade 11.
It's already.
I mean, grade 11, step 10. And to be honest with you, I'm barely lucky if I can get anybody for that.
I mean,
And the problem boils down to that I think you're just gonna chase, because this, just what I saw this within the last 3 years. Now, the consultant cost and us not being a priority, that's a management issue.
the consultant cost, okay, I hear that, but what is our excess levy capacity now? 2K?
$3,000.
Yeah, so I look at, okay, are we really getting, I think we're paying about 150 right now for the consultant. So I think, are we really in a position right now where we're not in a position, this was billed to the finance committee as we're saving money. This is a smart financial move for the town. And okay, it's not a smart financial move for the town. So then that brings up the next question, okay, is this a better move for the town from a performance standpoint? And, I can't speak to what it was like prior to that, I haven't spoken to the department heads or anything like that. But this to me is indicative of the fact that it is not good from a performance standpoint. We don't even have something that we're able to do. That's just how I see it. And I agree, that could be just
And
a,
you know,
and there could
when
be.
you look up consultants online, it's a million. So go get another one.
It's not that easy, because the consultants build out their system, that's why people are stuck to.
The software that we're using in this town, the systems we're using in this town, read it in there. Okay, they are typical systems that are used in a lot of towns.
The amount of, I guarantee you there's customization that is gone.
First of all, the system doesn't let you do that much customization, okay, and put modules on it to write, it won't allow them, okay? So I understand what you're saying, and I see the point from the financial side of it. But I also see that I think there's another answer before that system is completely given up on. And that other answer is, if you're a small fish in a big pond, go become a big fish in a small pond. Go find another consultant who means something. That's a management.
And I think that that is definitely an approach to take, but I'm just saying that. The way that this was sold to finance was, this is a money saver. And we're at a point now where.
That's when I was leaving, and I was there from some of that discussion, and I agree with you 100%. And my theory, and I probably said it at the meeting, is that no one gets out of bed that doesn't work 30%. Nobody, whether you're a consultant or and you can look at trash haulers that have been hired by municipalities when they had their own trash. You can look at sewer systems that are run by Veolia, okay, versus when they ran them themselves. You can look at water systems. I mean, I deal with these guys and I see no one gets out of bed that doesn't make 30%. The key is, can they drop the expenses enough so that they can make the profit?
Yeah.
The consultant on the computer side is that as the systems are getting less complicated.
I don't think you're, I mean, systems are not getting less complicated. I mean, I would argue anybody trying to figure out AI at this point in time has no idea what they do. I don't even think Sam Altman is who's doing the thing. Based upon exactly. I mean, the most recent rollout of Chat GPT is telling people that, well, not that, but it's basically feeding megalomania grandiose issues. So it's not.
You gotta be careful when you're dealing with consultants, what are you loading into?
Right, exactly, but I do think, to your point, if it can be managed better,
One thing, right, one other thing, I don't want a person that knows my system in and out, because I don't want that. My next question is, what happens when we get by the box?
They run the lunch.
They leave, and when they leave, you're stuck. That's the problem. Every company makes that same mistake with proprietary software. All right, so that's why, again, I think the more general it is, the more not outside the parameters, the better. If that means we don't offer a certain service, then that needs to be decided.
Yeah.
But that's where I think the problems are with IT. And like I said, I've watched the IT experiment before they changed to the consultant. This isn't the right one. I agree with you 100% as far as the price goes. What you're telling me based on what she was being paid and the baked-in benefits, it's not questionable at this point, because I knew what she was making. I also knew what the benefit part is. So it's not an extra cost to the town. Now, if you're not getting service, that's a different discussion. So who takes care of that? The person who oversees. And that, if that's the town administrator, then that's his duty to make sure that benefits. But that's where I sit. I appreciate what you're saying. I just think that looking at those numbers and going for that, I think there's some quality behind it that you might want to take a look at.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that, given my tenure, I don't think with it. So.
Well, it's not even, I would just advise, because that's one, IT's the hole. It's a big hole.
Yeah.
Okay, no, and neither, I'm not saying I'm a parent, yeah, but, I just think that, and I'm done beating the dead horse, but I think honestly, I don't want to see a petition stipend or otherwise. And if all it's gonna do is hire a problem, I'm just gonna think.
Or that person's gonna leave in a year because of whatever, without having some kind of,
Chain of continuity.
yes, oh my God, planning. That, I'm not thinking successful planning, and it really does stop a lot of problems from happening.
I agree.
Because, you know, thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, Tina.
But that's right, I'm too excited, because this is like.
That's where that's one of the biggest flaws is, because there is no succession planning departmental plan.
Yes,
Excellent.
yeah, they did.
That's a super management, awesome job. But, you know, sometimes you can't do succession planning because you have no staff.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So yeah, that's the HR thing.
One thing to add, the state and municipal sealer program, Division of Standards Compliance,
Okay,
will allow contracting for our municipality. So,
interesting.
right,
That might
they go a
save on
stipend
benefits.
position.
Yeah, because that might stop, that
I
might
think
save.
that's what they were talking about when we say that you would share for.
Yeah.
This other company or.
So if we can share, because apparently it's an option for under 8,000 residents, so.
Less how many? Less,
Right now.
less than 20,000? That's an awesome little piece. Because then you don't make it very easy again, it's so that's.
Well,
It was a stipend, but
Yeah. Well, no,
It's-
no, if we have somebody. If you're contracting out to somebody, that's fine, but if you're sharing with the sharing benefits with two municipalities, then the conversation, that's what who's paying for it.
No, you would just get a charge and let them roll it in.
Yeah.
You know, like with the way it worked with Plymouth is I think we paid them $5,000 to use their veteran league. What they paid their veteran leagues and the benefits they gave and all that's Plymouth's problem.
yeah, this is, I believe, out of these are state employees that we this contract with. So,
I.e. somebody in the town.
yeah, exactly. So then it's Massachusetts problem with their benefits.
Right.
Gotcha, thank you. This has been a very interesting conversation. I'm serious, I'm serious.
So what was on the grill before you left for Venice?
Steak.
I said they're gonna turn back into cows now.
What's that? I said to my wife, I said, it's out there, I gotta go. And she goes, how do I turn it off? Oh, it's off. So,
It's right away.
no, I just, that's silly, we'll be fine.
Oh, Lord.
So, okay, well, Tina, thank you, I appreciate it, all right, I know sometimes I can be difficult on certain things, but I appreciate, but the one thing I always appreciate is the conversation from your side, because you do bring out points that, and I hope I do the same.
That's why we like.
Alright,
So this is. the-
okay, so I'm going, next item is review the draft of the local personnel bylaw for FY 26 prepared by the executive secretary, incorporating voting changes for the annual town meeting. So, Jennifer emailed that to all of us. I did look at it. I had no changes. Did anybody else have anything?
Nope, everything was fine, everything.
Did you get a chance to look at it?
I did, there were a few things that I kind of noted in there.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is something that needs to get brought up elsewhere. So for like FMLA leave, it's actually, I just looked into it, it's 1,250 hours as opposed to 1,200 hours. I don't know if we have a different policy in the town.
We figure what you have to work,
It's 1,250 a year, yeah.
what's on there,
What's on here is 1,200 hours.
Oh, so you're saying the state has.
so that would be,
federal
that would be a
has jumped to that.
real bylaw change.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
you-
These are about
you
the
can take it
changes
up.
that were voted.
Right. that-
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
no, that wasn't on it. This was.
Yeah, oh yeah, then I did read that.
That's
Yeah.
enough to take a look and say, you know, if you see three things.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. Right.
Just let us know
Yeah.
you have.
It's good that you picked it up.
Yeah, there were a couple of other ones,
Housekeeping is.
yeah, it's really just like housekeeping
Yes.
So
things.
we do it all the time.
Oh,
So it was like one thing about jury duty, I didn't know if we wanted to add something about the Massachusetts domestic violence league. that I think that was passed in 2025, I want to say.
So there's, I'm not saying that you're saying it's not applicable, there are certain laws that don't apply to municipalities.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
for example, the state has, FMLA,
Mhm.
that does not apply to municipality, so. There are certain things, but I'm not
Yeah.
saying majority of things, right? I'm just looking at more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The domestic part.
What else?
There's like an 8-week parental leave policy in Mass. I don't know if that applies to municipality or not. And then there was. It says that if the grievance policy ends when you get to the board of selectmen, can they still pursue grievances outside of that though?
They can go to court.
Well,
Real
that's,
court.
that was the
Yeah.
only,
Yeah, they can go to court.
Yeah,
But no, once the selectmen make a decision, it's done.
yeah, unions have, higher fees. than
Arbitration.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, but yeah, in wage and personnel. They had an end at the select board.
Yeah, and then the only other thing was, exempt employees, it says is not regulated by the provisions of the Fair Labor Standards Act. So. and I work in regulatory compliance, so this is my nitpicking here. Technically, they are regulated by the Fair Labor and Standards Act, but they are exempt from, they're covered by it. But they are exempt from provisions based upon rules within the Fair Labor and Standards Act.
So that needs to be cleaned up in the bylaw,
It's
meaning,
for clarification.
just to clarify.
Yeah, I mean-
In other words, exactly the way Derek said it, we'll take it up at a later meeting. That the sentence regarding Fair Labor Standards Act in the bylaw needs to be looked at. And then we'll make that an agenda item and we'll come back and, put some language to it so that we can take it to, as a bylaw correction.
Yeah, and that was,
All good pickups, appreciate it. I'm glad you're here for that. No, seriously, because, you know, sometimes we pick them up and sometimes we don't, but this is what we do all the time. It was just try to.
Yeah.
Make that a little better.
no, and I mean, I work in regulatory compliance for a bank, so reading statutes all day long is kind of my fun, like, hobby.
Okay.
And I made it, but I think.
Who wants to come hang out with me?
We need.
We'll get the Federal Register out. and just-
I worked in regulatory, the phone company almost 30
Okay.
years. I love stuff.
Alright, not seeing anything as it relates to the past
Yeah,
town meeting, I would ask for a motion for approval of the wage and personnel bylaw for FY 26 as passed by town meeting.
So moved.
Yes. Any more discussion?
second,
Good, thank you. I'll ask for the vote, Eric,
yes.
Lorraine,
Yes,
Jim, yes.
excellent. Yeah, I read that through and I couldn't see anything, because I had a list of all the things to change. Perfect, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Jennifer, you did a
Yep,
great job.
good job.
So I'll send it to Jim.
Yep, and then that's off your plate. And then, bylaw amendment request, I think I'd like to see that on every one of these agendas, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So as an agenda item.
What do you think? You think the five times you?
Discuss bylaw amendment requests, period. We either receive a fall town meeting or, yeah. Do we have any for fall town meeting? So the IT stipend is for fall town meeting, but then that's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I have, do you want to email them to me? Or you discussed it,
No, we discussed it. We're not gonna vote on it.
No, because I would assume you still, you're going to a meeting. Brought forward and all that.
Well, yeah, I'd like
Yeah,
to, and, I'd like to hear what the plan is from the standpoint of not necessarily the who, but the what.
Yeah.
From the standpoint
Yeah.
of, and then what we're doing.
I mean, I didn't think this was gonna be like a side meeting, I thought this, but I know you guys usually put have on the agenda when you're gonna deal with people, so.
yeah.
So that would have to be September, so you.
Yeah, If you want
You
to.
just keep it down. Well, no, when is the fall town meeting?
November 18th, I'm sorry. I thought it was October.
I actually thought I got moved to October. I'm just reading what's on this document here.
I thought it was October.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Okay.
October 20th.
Yes,
yeah,
Okay.
October 20,
That's
2025,
That doesn't,
7.
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
because that's his last day.
Right,
Currently,
I thought it was October.
The deadline is currently July 10, 25. You know, check.
Nope, what else? You only have one more. Yeah,
That is it.
that was it, yeah.
That was it, so that
At
is
least
it.
for me.
Well,
I never seen any of it. Good.
that's a done deal.
So in September, I think.
Do you want to?
Whoever wants to bring this forward is how I'm gonna leave it, because keep me behind them.
Do we have a date for the September meeting?
Not,
Third,
and I'll remember.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
All right, so Tina, do you want to speak to me, or should I send you an email, or I either do both? Either do both? I mean, I was talking to the person I can read anyway, so he's interested in it.
Usually that's you, June.
But I tell him. And then he said this, and then he said this, that was good.
Jenny said this.
He can watch the recording.
I know.
He probably does.
All right, so you've got,
So I'll speak about the 15.
please.
About the elections.
An email?
No, just, just the email that Tina sent about, amending our benefits. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so what was that? I'm sorry.
There was an email that Tina sent out from the town council that said that we, unless it's an emergency, we should change our agendas.
Once they're supposed to do that 48-hour window.
Yeah, I was.
This is related to that inquiry that was related.
I was on the email.
But, you know, yeah.
I don't know, I was on the email that went out to the department heads,
You're talking about that.
So it sounds like Trisha asked, and then the questions that come up with.
Yeah, well, normally we don't. I can't even think of the time we did. If we had something that came up last minute, we would take it as the last minute item.
Yeah.
And or there have been times where we postponed it. And we'll just-
Yeah.
And
You want me to add?
yeah, right. I remember it. And
It's not very screen.
yeah.
I'm thinking clean.
All right, the minutes from April 7th and April 23rd, I would ask you to recuse since you weren't here. Lorraine, have you looked at those?
I read, both sets of meetings for April 7th and April 23rd. And I moved to approve both sets of minutes, open session, April 7th, 2025, and April 20th, 2025. As written.
I'll second it and, I'll ask for the vote. Lorraine,
Yes.
Jim, yes, Derek, abstain. Thank you.
You can't plan.
I know, exactly.
So
Just say that.
there's been, you made some notes about the agenda, for September the 15th. So I think that's, unless there's something else for the good of the group that they want to put on the agenda for September the 15th.
Now Lorraine is moving away, but she'll be back.
I had a conversation,
September 15th.
right.
Do we need
I don't think so, unless it's something that's really, that I really need to have to eat. And I'm planning on coming. You don't ignore. Going to Amsterdam and then going to New York.
You.
Alright, so before I text my boss at 9:15.
I just want to know that I'll be out of touch for the couple of weeks before the meeting. So anything I do is gonna, I'll do it that day.
The 15th, my husband is traveling, so I'll be remote. Unless you want me to bring in a screaming 6.5-month-old.
I would love it. But
Jen
no.
wants it.
I love babies.
Derek, I really do strive to be very efficient in here. This is a very, very, and we started late, but it's typically, we're not
You're
here.
not hung up on me on food.
Yeah, we're not here at this hour, okay,
Some people, they don't really know, it's this
but,
bad.
but,
Fine, my dear.
but we typically don't have long meetings that,
Sometimes there's a building issue.
Right.
And that's the end of that.
all right, but no, remote's fine, I'm
Okay.
fine. I almost was about to just go finish the grill and jump on the computer, but I didn't, I'm 5 minutes away, so I can't.
See, you can't remote from town hall. Because you're there. You have to.
I would have,
be in-
no, I would have turned around and made you the temporary chair. for
I
the
put him in vice chair.
Yeah, you have a vice chair, so you could have held the meeting.
But. I don't know.
Why not? She was voted vice chair. In the last
No,
vice chair, yeah.
he reordered tonight.
No, but the reorg,
For tonight.
right,
Yeah, she was vice chair before.
she was vice chair before.
There was no real reorg.
There was a reorg that we did 2 years ago.
You think Darlene was vice chair? Yes, so
And when Darlene left, we made Lorraine go.
No, we did. Not officially.
No.
You've checked that out?
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you, okay, that's fine.
But it's-
Yeah, no, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
All right,
That's fine, I'm here.
Yes,
Yeah.
you don't have to be up, so, right, we're getting, just so I know,
I know.
9:15 is the meeting date, or we change?
I have no problem with the 9:15. I don't anticipate a problem. You're going to be away.
He's gonna remote in.
I'll be here, but I will have a kid like
Yeah, no,
probably
no, no.
right here next to me during it.
No,
So-
the husband is gone, so
Yeah.
that means you will be better off at home. There was a.
And,
We are doing that.
yes, the
Yes.
meeting will be 9:15
Okay.
at 6 P.M.
It's 9:15 tonight.
And Jennifer, Derek, Jennifer is really good at making sure you get copies of the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I already sent you that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I read a lot of fun stuff.
He sent to me, no,
well, you're now.
Which
Drug
is
analysis.
exactly,
I sent it more than what you said.
Yeah.
okay, but that's a fine.
And then I reached out for more because I was like, this is meaty.
Yeah.
This is way more interesting than regulations.
Okay, so we're all set for 9:15, and I'll look for you on Zoom.
Any other topics not reasonably anticipated?
He said he's good for 9.
Is- All right,
Excellent.
anything,
Wait.
anything, yeah, anything else for the good of the group as it relates to the agenda? Okay, any questions?
No, although, the police department now does inspection of children's car seats.
Oh, I think they
To
were.
make sure they.
To make sure they're qualified. Yeah, so for everybody watching at home,
Yeah.
I'm really- I know, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, the fire, I know the fire department, and I know, and it's sad because I had 2 brand new car seats for grandchildren that were used once, but they sat up in a bag in the
Mhm.
attic,
Oh,
and they
no.
went past their date,
Yes.
I had to throw them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have
And literally,
expressions on it.
literally
Yeah.
used once. I bought them when they came and they used them once, and I felt so bad because I wanted to give them to somebody.
Yeah,
And I didn't, you just didn't, so I took them to the transfer station, I said, what do I do with this? And they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, very disposable.
It's too bad.
yeah, and they're not cheap either.
Oh.
No, they're not.
So,
You.
all right, I will ask for a, motion to adjourn.
And we'll be meeting at 7:47 PM.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll take the vote.
7:47, did you get that?
On the-
Okay.
on the computer.
7:42.
Sorry. I apologize, I amend
Go
the
ahead.
motion to
And
7:42.
Okay, that's fine.
second.
Second, I will second it. The amended motion.
There.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna talk about car seats and more.
Everyone copy these 2
Okay,
things for you
you good?
to know.
All right,